Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you as part of the upper tier offering. This is your match reaction to the derby yesterday at lunchtime. Liverpool 2, it should be 2-0 actually on that. I have to fix that. What happened there? Just let me edit that because I'm not happy with that at all. There we go. Now that's more like it, giving them a goal for no reason at all. But welcome to the show, folks. We're going to reflect on the game yesterday, have a little chat about it, what we thought about it, all that kind of thing. We'll have a rundown of Jurgen Klopp's post-match comments. Some you may or may not agree with. I wasn't overly impressed with the performance yesterday, but we'll get into it now in a few minutes and we'll talk about it. But first of all, we have to talk about this man. This man passed away sadly in the early hours of yesterday morning. Word broke yesterday afternoon. Very, very sad. An unbelievable player and stuff like that. Stats, records, everything speak for themselves. The man who won it all, did it all, was a real football fan and all that kind of thing. If you want to check out Warren's team talk as well, Warren did a tribute to the man he met him, and he was reflecting back on the time he met him with a few of his friends, stuff like that. Always a tough podcast to do when it's someone that you've met and you have personal connection from a moment or an afternoon and stuff like that. And I know Nigel out on Twitter as well, who does the podcast with Jack on Anfield Road TV and stuff like that. Nigel did a summer camp football with him as well and was sharing some pictures and stuff like that. Really, really, really nice moments and stuff like that. But what a footballer this man was and what a player he was as well. And of course, reunited now with Big Jack up there as well, of course. For many years they didn't talk, but got back together and stuff. And it was, if you remember that poignant moment when Jack presented him with the Lifetime Achievement Award and stuff like that. So RIP Sir Bobby Charlton. Sometimes things transcend rivalries, football, all that kind of thing. He was an outstanding footballer, and will be very sadly missed at Man United. So we thought we'd share that. We'll go more in depth into him tomorrow night. Mark will be on tomorrow night for the Monday mashup. He's a Man United fan, so we'll get into more talking about it there tomorrow night. But I thought I'd mention tonight it's the first podcast back since the man passed away. Let us know as well, lads, if there's any issue with the audio or anything like that. StreamYard's been a bit tinkery these days. So if there's any issue with the audio, of course, let me know, folks, because the setup is always the same here. Nothing changes, just in case. But yeah, RIP Sir Bobby Charlton. You will be sadly missed. And especially at a time where United are going through what they're going through at the moment. It's, more bad news for the club, very, very sad. And the tributes were pouring in all day. Books of condolences, all that kind of stuff, and rightly so. For a man who's seen it all, did it all, lived through all that tragedy of Munich and all that kind of stuff to become an outstanding player and what an ambassador for the club he was and stuff like that. And it would have been interesting to get his thoughts actually, because he bled Man United really, and it would be interesting to get his thoughts privately if he was still alive, about how he felt about the club and the direction of it and all the stuff that he sees now and what the difference is from what he thought it was, that United DNA and stuff like that. But what a footballer. R.I.P. Sir Bobby Charlton. Thought I mentioned that. Let's jump into the comments, folks. Comments are flying in here at the moment. Jack is in. Well, please don't be late tonight, mate. Jack, I never try to be late. I'm always at least 15 minutes early, loading up slides and stuff like that. The celebration chocolates are ready. Nice. Come on, lad. Hi, Niall. Hope you are well. I am well, man. I've had a good Sunday. Commiserations to Chelsea on almost getting a win. Yeah. And RIB Sir Bobby Charlton, of course. What's the crack, Niall Daz? How are you, my friend? All right, Morris. Also, Niall, I have an announcement. You have an announcement. Should I hit the drum roll? Corvo's in. Big up Corvo. Big win yesterday for you guys. We'll be chatting about it tomorrow night. Really looking good at the moment. The only one that let me down, Corvo, by the way, I think it might beat the bookie, was Almiron. I don't even know whether he came in or not. I had him for either a goal or an assist. He's the one that let me down and might beat the bookie. And on the other bet that we did on Thursday night, I'm waiting on Spurs to clinch that one as well. Big up, Jack, from Daz. Drum roll. I've started a PFP shop like the one on my profile. Oh, cool. Awesome. It's okay, no. Oh, good. Daz, what about the news? Impact Wrestling becoming TNA again. I was delighted for it. I was a big TNA head back in the day, so I'm delighted. It costs €2. It costs two subs to have a PFP and share it on a community. For anyone in the chat who wants one, just tell me and I will make you one of a player of your thoughts. Nice, nice, Jack. I like that. At that, hope you're well, mate. And Morrison, Unai Emery might be knighted this year. Tell you, man, what a job he's doing at Aston Villa. The only thing is, I don't think, am I right in thinking, and I haven't looked at it over the 9 games so far, but West Ham don't really travel that well, do they? They tend to play much better, of course, down in London. Aston Villa, tough place to go as well, but Villa were on it today. Ollie Watkins really looking on it at the moment. Now, Morris, we're watching now. Who did you pick last time? I think you picked Watkins last time, didn't you, over Tony? So I presume you remain the same. Eno's in. What's happening, folks? Sad news about Bobby Charlton. Very sad. But Niall, if you want one, I will give it to you for nothing. Jack, you're a gent, an absolute gent. I think it will be good, Niall. Yeah, it will be good, won't it? Just to let you know, folks, we've put up the link for the show as well for Wednesday night, the Pro Wrestling Weekly show. We're going to be doing the Mount Rushmores. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning a nice upper tier cap or t-shirt or whatever it is, the Mount Rushmores that we're going to be doing is an overall Mount Rushmore. We're going to be doing a tag team Mount Rushmore. We're going to be doing a manager's Mount Rushmore. And we're going to be finishing with a Mount Rushmore of WrestleMania matches. So you have to pick 4 for each category. And then Dazzler, I suppose, will do judge on it and stuff like that. But that's the way it's going to be. So 4 Mount Rushmores coming up for you this Wednesday as part of Pro Wrestling Weekly. We'll have a little bit of news as well, of course, updates on Crown Jewel, all that kind of stuff and everything that goes with it. Don't forget, tomorrow night as well, we're back with Mark, our resident referee. He'll be back in Stockley Park via West Dublin, giving us his thoughts on some VAR decisions this weekend. Interesting as well. And also, of course, sharing his thoughts on Sir Bobby Charlton, who sadly passed away. And then on Thursday, we've Thursday Tier Pot Talk back with Darren. So that'll be the usual Premier League preview, including a big preview of the Manchester Derby coming up. Beat the bookie, all the latest news, all that good stuff. So we're going to be flying this week, plenty of content. Ian who, yeah, Richie. I think Watkins would suit us better, both better than our strikers. I'd swap them both. Yeah, that's absolutely, yeah. Send the Ross to Eby, Shelby, and Sigan. Mount Rushmore. Stop now, stop. Shelby, I nearly believe. Niall, I got a bit annoyed before this live stream because this guy who I made a PFP for, this other guy who makes PFP came in and said, I will make you one, and self-promoted himself when I made him, which is, told you, Jack, don't be getting annoyed. There's no point. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Don't let this gig get to you in any way, shape, or form. This is all supposed to be fun. Supposed to enjoy it. Never get head up. Never get annoyed about this. No matter how many times I say to you, man, you're gonna meet nice people in this game, and you're gonna meet people that aren't so nice. That's just the nature of the beast when you're doing this one. Have my Mount Rushmore sorted. Interesting. I'm going to be very interested in your one now because you're quite the historian of pro wrestling as well. So I'm going to be interested to see who you put up there. It's going to be interesting. Remember, nice bit of merchandise available this Wednesday as well. We're going to be pumping it out there to people who give us really good stuff. Is our game on Sky Sports next week, Niall? Do you know? It is. I think it's the 2:00 game, isn't it? Are we the 2:00 game against Nottingham Forest? So I presume it is on Sky. Well, we got Forest coming up, then Luton away, and then Brentford at home before the next goddamn international break. And then a couple of, obviously, we've got what is it? We've got, is it Leicester in the cup? Is it? Who have we got in the cup again? I can't remember the Carabao Cup. I think it's Leicester, isn't it? Sandwiched in between, and then Toulouse on Thursday. So yeah, so we'd be expecting 9 points for them and stuff like that. Upsetting. I know I moan how people moan about self promo, but that's different because I spend time on it. It is, Jack. But again, I would say to you, just look, it's the nature of the beast. Don't wait. You'll find with these things sometimes if you let them get to you, they consume your time more, and you should be spending your time better promoting your stuff, doing your content, all that kind of stuff. West Ham had only lost to Liverpool on the road, but were awful last year. Yeah, maybe that's where I was getting confused. Did you see Warren is doing a giveaway? I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen the giveaway, but I did see his tribute to Sir Bobby Charlton, and I thought it was really, really good. Right, let's start with this reaction to this match. Where do we begin with my thoughts? I look. I thought we started out well. I thought when it was 11 against 11, I thought we were passing the ball really, really nicely. I thought we were opening up, creating chances. Luis Diaz again, the man who will just absolutely frustrate the hell out of you as a Liverpool fan. He can be either absolutely sublime or just horrific, and there's no in between really. And it's just, I don't know what to make of him and stuff like that. I thought, we'll get into the game and stuff like that. Now let's take the gaffer's presser comments first on his assessment of how difficult an afternoon it was. And this is one that's interesting for me as a difficult game because I think one, the Ashley Young sending off made it very difficult for us because I just don't think at times we figure out how to play against that low block 10 man. Seen it with the Chelsea game, seen it with a number of games like that. And I think if it says 11 against 11, I think it's a better game for us. On his assessment of how difficult the afternoon was, a difficult game, even before the first whistle, I didn't know 100% how we would be ready for that. When we had the finishing in the warm up, Dom told me, I actually never played a derby before. What do you mean? Salzburg don't have a derby. Leipzig don't have a derby. Hungary has maybe a derby, but the countries who would be in the derby we never played since I played international football. Okay, good, no problem. You give always 100%, so you are ready for the game. That's an interesting dynamic, that conversation between himself and Klopp, isn't it? Because when you think about it, like, I don't think he was trying to talk himself out of the derby, and I don't think he was talking in a way that he was worried. So it's kind of interesting. So you don't know exactly how it is, and I liked what I saw besides that we should have finished situations off better. They didn't even become chances, but there were super situations where we had 4 versus 1, 4 versus 2 counterattacks, and with the quality we have to play a better last pass. Absolutely. So what he's saying is what everyone is saying basically. On the counter attack and the way we move the ball quick enough, we open them up quick enough, but when we get into that final third, we just seem to be perplexed about what that key decision is at that time. You see it a couple of times with Luis Diaz when we're on the break as well. Takes the ball down the left hand side, and when he gets there, turns back in and lets everything get organised. And even against 10 men, that's not the way to do that. You have to be slinging balls into that 6 yard area, creating danger balls, giving Pickford something to think about and all. And I just think yesterday, when you think about it, what was it? Was it the 62nd minute or something like that for our second shot on target? And that's horrific, really. And then you seen as well when we lost our shape a little bit and stuff like that. And then I've said this before, I said it a number of times last season as well. When we get into a position where we're against 10 men or whatever it is, and we should have the upper hand and stuff like that, we start doing real uncharacteristic things, like taking shots from 20, 25 yards out and stuff like that. When a simple pass, move, switch it across, open the play, draw people out and stuff like that is a much better option. The percentage chance of you launching a 20 yarder or a 25 yarder and it hitting the top corner is relatively slim, even for players as talented as our players. So we should always try to be probing and open them up and stuff like that. But again, some of the drop off I think was in relation to some of the players and stuff like that as well. Um, where are we going now? What he said was, but what it was really important was that we didn't get frustrated in the second half with the fact that we didn't score already. I think we did get frustrated. I think that's why we were taking shots from distance. So I'm not too sure the gaffer is spot on with that one. That's one I'd be concerned about. Yeah, and I thought we did that really well. I saw that we were ready just to play to the final whistle, try it, and then we scored the first goal, the penalty. Really well done by Lucho crossing the ball in that moment, a 1v2 situation, I think, and then still can cross the ball. And then late 2-0, the game finished. Yeah. I think that's slightly different to the gaffer, to be honest now, unless he's wording it slightly different. But um, I think there was a lot of frustration out there, being honest. Let's take some comments. Jack, it was on his live stream yesterday. He announced it, and it's a Crave Valley Special FA Cup shirt because they're in a first round of the FA Cup, and I made an FA Cup prediction vid. It took me forever. It does take time. Takes time to put them together, Jack. It's worth it though. There was 40 games. 40 games. I was really impressed with Gravenberch yesterday. Yeah, I think he was. I think he just fell off slightly, didn't he? But I thought he was doing. I love the way, very similar to Dominic, the way they're so similar in the way they play. Really, really skillful in tight spaces, able to create space and move around, switch to play, all that kind of stuff. Just really alert to it all the time, but really, really protective of the ball and possession and all that kind of stuff as well. And I really like to see that from those players. I think actually as well, I think Gravenberch be one of those players yesterday where he was trying to create a lot of stuff as well. And I think just some of that careful, safe, negative kind of play that we played yesterday kind of frustrated him as well a little bit, I think. Morris Hairtop Bowley is dressing as a football club owner for Halloween. Morris, who do you play next week? They've got Sevilla away and Sheffield United at home. Should be Sevilla game. That's going to be an interesting game, I tell you. That will be a very interesting game. Right. On whether Ibrahim Konate might have received a second yellow card in the second half. To be 100% honest, I didn't see it back yet. I was not sure. I saw it 100%. I think I was somewhere else in that moment. But then when he is going down, Ebu, I knew had a yellow card, so I knew that could be now tricky. Then he didn't get the second yellow, and then I thought, okay, we don't give it a chance and take him off. I understand how you can imagine the frustration of Everton and Sean Dyche in this moment. Absolutely. Was it 0-0 still, or was it 1-0, 0-0, 10 versus 10? I thought we were the better side. Would we have won? I don't know. We will never find out, but it's not that I would have thought. Okay, now we have no chance to win the game anymore. 100% not. It would have been interesting. Would Everton have changed anything or not? We don't know. Would they have been a bit more offensive or not? That's all hypothetical, obviously. 2-0, and we deserve the 3 points. I think there's no doubt. I think, and I think if we want to keep the same energy, if we want to talk about the Spurs game, if we want to talk about the issues that we faced against Brighton and all those kind of things, I think we have to keep the same energy. If we don't believe Diogo Jota should have been sent off against Tottenham Hotspur, then I think we have to keep the same energy. I think the two cards for Ashley Young, I think it was a bit harsh in the sending off, and I'm a Liverpool fan. I also think if you're going to keep the same energy within the game, I think Kanate has to go. And that's all my assessment on it. And I think we got away with it, being honest. I really truly believe that. I think we got away with the Kanate one yesterday. I think we probably as a team would have preferred 11 versus 11. I think that's when we were playing our better passing stuff. Who knows? Again, as the gaffer says, it is all hypothetical and stuff like that and all. Um, could there have been another penalty in relation to the Lucho tackle in the box? I think there might have been. He talks about, more offensive and stuff like that. Well, Sean Dyche, with that first sub, he brought on Beto. So there you go. So he did want to kind of open it up a little bit and stuff like that. So just keep those in mind when we're talking about these things, because I think it's really, really important that, like, if we are going to talk like this, we really do need to keep the same energy. If we're going to complain about one game, we have to really keep the same energy on this and stuff, so, and be fair about it. On the importance of responding to the last two league results, I like to respond on things, but you need to have a reason to respond, and you should be able to remember the thing you have to respond to. 2 weeks since Brighton, the players were everywhere in the world. That makes no sense. I'm not happy that we are back on track or whatever. I'm happy we won the game, yeah, and 20 points. That's what we wanted, and that's what we have now. So that's absolutely great. Now, Thursday, different competition, super important as well. Another home game, fantastic. And from there we go. That's the situation. How I said where the boys literally are coming from, I'm really happy with the performance. I liked it, and I didn't hear anything different. We came all through without any kind of niggles. Super important, so all good. I think what he's really saying there, when you go into these derby games, you know, they could be a war at times. And I think what he's saying there is the goal coming back off the international break with the lads flying in from all around the world, an early kickoff, pressure on and stuff like that. Everton finding a bit of form before this. We were kind of struggling coming in with the loss to Spurs and the draw to Brighton. But I think it was really, really important to get the 3 points and get out of there without any injuries. And that's kind of, it's a weird one when you think about the derby these days. It should be super exciting, the history between the clubs. But I think what's happened is with the situation with Everton and the drop off and just how poor they've been over so many years now and stuff like that. The derby has kind of lost its shine and it's become more of a kind of a, dare I say, a nasty, unsporting kind of affair and stuff like that. You see Dice ratchets it up and all, and Klopp responds and all that kind of thing. But I think really now when we look at the Merseyside derby, it's a case of going in, just give me the 3 points and no one gets injured, and I'm happy. I'm not really overly focused about the performance because I can know how difficult it can be. You can see how Dyche and how he sets them up and stuff like that. It's kind of, I won't say it's anti-football, but it's pretty close to it and stuff like that. So they don't necessarily come, with that kind of mentality in mind and stuff like that. And that's why it's so difficult for us. And that's why you see when we play against those type of teams, we really, really struggle. And we struggled yesterday as well. And I said it even when I was watching it with Ben, that I would need to take a penalty or a moment of greatness of a free kick or something like that, that it was going to be very difficult to open them up. Our balls into the box weren't great. Again, we were just knocking them in there. We weren't picking out players. I don't think we were getting enough players forward enough in attacking positions at key moments and stuff like that. So it was even more difficult to pick out players. And I just think it really needed um, that kind of impetus on the pitch to settle down and go, right, let's think about how we're going to do this. Let's draw these guys out, bring them out a little bit, open up the spaces, keep on switching the play, get them thinking, mess them up a little bit, bring on Darwin, make these subs. If you look at half time, Konate, I don't know what's going on with Ebu, seems very, very nervous at times and stuff like that when you're looking at him play and creating that kind of nervousness. He used to be really, really solid and really confident on the ball. I don't know if his confidence is knocked or something like that. Just doesn't seem like the same Ebu. You know, you look at Costas going in there, has a great chance to lay down a marker and shows what he can do. He's going to be in the team for a number of weeks now, with Robbo potentially needing surgery and stuff like that. Disaster again yesterday. Constantly giving away the ball, constantly out of position. Just really, really poor. How many times did Van Dijk play balls out there and expecting Costas to be in that position or in a position, and he'd have to race back in the last minute to try and sort it, where he wasn't in the position where he should be. So there's definitely massive question marks over Costas. And I said it a few weeks ago on the podcast when they were renewing the contract, to be really, really careful what they were doing there. Now, we didn't know Robbo was going to get injured, but there's no real competition there. I've said it before with Costas. He's not providing competition for Robbo. He's providing injury cover. And what happens with Robbo, we need proper competition in there for him. We need someone who's going to put it up to him and really compete for that position, not someone who's going to fill in. And as soon as Robbo comes back off this injury, Costas will be whipped straight back out of the team and Robbo will be straight in, and it happens every single time. And I think for Costas, I think there's been a massive drop off in the last year in his performance, stuff like that. He used to be really, really strong going forward. He used to be very, very clever. Now a lot of it is go forward, cut back, that negativity, that safe play. Used to go by players, used to have great delivery into the box and stuff like that. His delivery into the box now is quite poor. And again, let us know your thoughts in there. Um, Jack, bloody hell, just looked at my welcome to Liverpool vid and it has 357 views. There you go, Paul. Not a bother to you. Zane is in. How are you, Zane? Both are harsh because both of them, even Youngs, are minimal contact. Absolutely, Zane. And that was my speaking on it. And to be honest with you, looking at how the game panned out, I think I would have preferred 11 against 11 because it was just that bit more open, and the way we were passing the ball, the passing between, like that midfield. And it's mad to think, even McAllister yesterday, I didn't think was brilliant. I think he was reasonable, but I don't think he was brilliant. But if you look at that midfield of Szoboszlai there and Gravenberch and McAllister and stuff like that, and the way that the intricate passing and the way they were moving it side to side and all that kind of stuff, really, really looked impressive at times yesterday. What did he book Dyche for, Niall? I think it was descent. He was gone mad, wasn't he? I think it was descent as far as I know. What does he ever book Dyche for? It's always descent, isn't it? Yeah, I'd imagine descent. Uh, you can't tell me you can't tell me them yet. You're supposed to keep them. Supposed to keep them for Wednesday. This is a football podcast, Ian, down with that sort of thing. The GP Production Podcast police are in the house. Costas knows he's never getting that spot. Yeah, but the problem is now we're going to be facing into Costas versus Saka, and we're going to be facing into Costas versus Jeremy Doku. Let that settle. Let that settle. Morris, that's for the Upper Tier Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. Yeah, you're supposed to keep it, though. You're supposed to keep it for Wednesday. He will go strong on Thursday, Niall. Yeah, probably he'll go reasonable anyway. But it was a weird kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like we're after speaking about this, so it doesn't need much more talk about it really. I thought EB was lucky. I thought Ashley Young was harsh. We just spoke about Costas. Um, I just don't know if that's the answer or not. Maybe what you could see happening there is with a run of games and stuff like that, you might see a level of improvement, stuff like that. But yesterday, he was just, I mean, he could have been hooked at half time yesterday, and rightly so. Rightly so. I mean, when you see the amount as well of chances that we're creating as well, and I think at one stage, I think we had created 12 shots and we'd one on target. So poor at the moment. So poor. And what can we say about this man? This man that they all think is the stat patter and all this kind of stuff. He was brilliant yesterday at times. Now times he was out of the game a little bit, but certainly brilliant. Stepped up for that penalty, took his penalty beautifully as well. And I could see what Pickford was thinking as well, because normally when he goes either side, he can tend to hit the post or go wide and stuff like that. So nowadays he tends to just absolutely bury it up the middle, and it just flew by Pickford. It was classic. The breakaway goal was absolutely sensational. What work from Darwin Núñez as well. Let's shout out to Darwin Núñez here. He was unbelievable. Unbelievable yesterday when he came on. Just creating absolute stuff. But the way he carries the ball and just slither to for Salah, he will not get an easier finish than that. And it was nice to see it. Like, it just really, really good. Doug is in. How are you, Doug? How is fatherhood, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope baby and mother and everything is doing great. Great to see you in, man. Thanks for dropping in. This is a big 10 weeks for Costas for me. This is massive. This is, for me, Doug, this is make or break. And it's weird in terms of the contract and stuff like that, because I really thought that left back situation would have been a place we would be looking at in the summer and stuff like that. So it was kind of weird, maybe just to protect a bit of his value and stuff like that and all. But I tell you, if he doesn't shine over the next 10 weeks, we are going to be in the market for a left back. And not only a left back, we could be in the market for a left back who's a starter with Andy Robinson being the guy trying to unlock him and stuff like that. But I just think, yeah, with Costas, I'm just hoping, Doug, over the next 10 weeks, that by working more in that first team and stuff like that, that he gains that bit of confidence, because yesterday he was shocking. Shocking. All right, Doug, how's the little one? All good. He was poor yesterday. He was really poor yesterday. Bonkers is in. Well, will he go Costas on Thursday, or Chambers or Youth? He'll definitely go Costas, because he knows Costas. Well, yeah, that's an interesting one, Bonkers. That could be interesting, all right, because maybe he might use the opportunity actually to go with Chambers or something like that, because he obviously needs now potentially a backup for Costas. And that wouldn't be a bad game either to do it and stuff like that. Plus the risk of Costas getting injured. Then what do we do then? If Costas gets injured, we're probably looking at a change of formation. And we've seen how that's gone in the past. Always not too great. Hi, Daz. He's good. Thanks, mate. Brilliant. Yeah, all good, mate. Thank you. Fatherhood is amazing, buddy, isn't it? It's unbelievable, isn't it? You get a very how would I say this, Doug? You get a very different appreciation and a feeling for women when they go through motherhood and stuff like that. When you see babies being born, stuff like that, it's unbelievable. But congrats to all of you. Morris is in. Salah is cleaning up in the fantasy football. Absolutely. I think they were saying, what was I saying there the other day? 15 games or something on the trot. If we're counting the Spurs goal, that was definitely a goal, and he got the assist. It's 15 goal contributions in 15 games or something like that. It's something absolutely ridiculous. But the rivals will tell you he's just a stat patter. But there you go. Let the hype pour in, not a bother at all. 104 Anfield goals, level with Kenny Dalglish and Steven Gerrard. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, he is. And I don't think Stat Patters do it over the distance he's done it over so many seasons and stuff like that. That's all I'd have to say on that. Um, yeah, so I suppose my thoughts overall would be I don't know. Costas was a difficult one. Konate a little bit nervous. McAllister wasn't brilliant either. Luis Diaz frustrates the hell out of me. Jota was okay, but okay, busy again, but busy doing what? Big difference when Darwin came on. Um, Midfield looked really, really impressive. Gravenberch, Sabozlai, really, really impressive. Um, uh, One of your buddies, actually, Morris, was calling him a stat patter. There you go. There you go. But that's all I'll say on that. I'll message you after the show and let you know. But I thought it was really, really impressive. You go look at here we go. Go look at the stats of the game and stuff like that. What did we got? 23, 24. We had 24 shots, 6 on target. I'm surprised the 6 was that high and stuff. 77% possession. 12 corner kicks. I mention corner kicks all the time. I can't understand with the work we've done and the size of the players that we have going up for these corner kicks, how we're not putting more of them away. Really, really disappointing, really, the return on them. But yeah, that's it, folks. That was my thoughts on it. Toulouse coming up on Thursday. I don't really do. Um, Here we go. Jack, what did you think of Musiala after mine? Listen, mate, I knew he was brilliant. Listen, I didn't like your video was excellent, but I knew he was an excellent player. I've watched him for Bayern and Germany and stuff like that. He's incredible. But I don't know. My feeling on these things, Jack, and you hear how linked we are as well to Victor Usman as well. I spoke about it yesterday on Twitter with a couple of Reds and stuff like that. To me, it's Jude part 2 and part 3. I don't think we do that. I think if Mo goes, I think Darren's opinion on it is correct. I don't think we bring in a huge player. I think what we might do is use that money to bring in 3 players, a slight downgrade from Mo Salah, and then strengthen in other areas to complete the jigsaw. And I think Darren is spot on in thinking that. That's in there. Down a minute soils for Bobby Charlton at Barcelona on ITV4. Yeah, absolutely rightly so. This guy was renowned all around the world. Probably, arguably, one of the greatest ever English players. So why wouldn't they? Oh, I'd say he's on the wind up. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what it is. Is it a wind up? He was very frustrated yesterday after the game, I have to say. But I just think he's always talking about Mo Salah. Boy, no. We need to get a crack pod show going, a throw-in show for the odd time. If only I had the time, mate. If only I had the time. I'm flat out with podcasting. Please stay on longer. I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. If there's anything you want to talk about, drop it in there. I can stay on for a few more minutes. It's not a problem. Watkins be great for the pool too. He would, yeah. Absolutely. And I tell you, a boy Diaby as well. No messing there. Wait, since when was Barca on ITV? Yeah, they show La Liga. Show La Liga on ITV. There you go. I think it's is it ITV4 or 5 or something like that? What did they say? ITV4, yeah. ITV4 covers quite a bit of football, actually. He's given the Serbi bullets too, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, he's not a happy bunny either with Tony Bloom either. Sure, he's not the amount of money he's earning, and he goes in on Tony Bloom about not investing in Brighton, that Brighton should be competing. They should have ambitions of top 4 and winning cups and competing for leagues and all. And it's a relative argument, I think, at times, but you learn something new every day. Yeah, absolutely, Jack. You sure do. God, what else do we want to talk about? That's it. I was going to do player ratings, but I mean, I don't think there's any point in doing the player ratings. I don't to me, I wasn't overly impressed with the performance yesterday. I even said, here's a good one for you. Actually, I was talking to Ben towards the end of the game, and Ben's comment was, I said to Ben, they flashed up on the screen talking about who they were thinking of giving the man of the match to. Um, And it was a weird one. And I said to Ben was watching the match with me as we always do. And I said to Ben, who are you giving the man the match to? And he says, you know something, Dad? He says, I've no idea. He says, they all seem pretty average or shit today, didn't they? And I think that kind of summed it up, really. You know what I mean? I don't think it was a great performance. I think it was a great 3 points and getting out there without injuries, and that was key. And I think the gaffer felt the same as well. I don't think it was that impressive a performance. We struggled really to break them down. Let's be honest. ITV4 and all there, showing El Clasico next week. Yeah, they show some good stuff actually. Definitely worth a watch. Morris, I don't know Ian that well. Seems like a great fella all the same. I heard he's sound. Is this like Elias and Ezekiel? Is it Elias and Ezekiel? We got Richard and we got him. We got our own Elias and Ezekiel on the show. That's the way it goes and stuff like that. Like I said, folks, don't forget this week Monday mashup tomorrow night. Premier League review, European preview, and of course we'll be talking about Sir Bobby and any other new stuff. And Mark will be giving us thoughts on some of the VAR decisions, especially those handballs. They're going to be fairly interesting to get Mark's thoughts on them. Wednesday, Pro Wrestling Weekly. We're going to be doing our Mount Rushmores, and again, there's caps and shirts up for grabs that night for anyone who lands us with some really good stuff. All has to be justifiable as well, though, folks. You can't just put an out-of-box one up there and just do it for the sake of it. It has to be all justified in the show. You have to tell us why in the chat you picked that guy if it's out of left field. It'll be interesting to see if anyone's match. Remember the Mount Rushmores we're doing? Overall, manager, tag team, and WrestleMania matches. Pick your 4 best WrestleMania matches to go on your Mount Rushmore. And I did that today, and I tell you, it's not easy when you go back through all those WrestleManias. And it's an interesting one. I think 3 of the matches that I picked for my Mount Rushmore, here's a heads up anyway, just to give you an idea. I picked 3 of the matches that I picked for my Mount Rushmore, my WrestleMania Mount Rushmore, feature wrestlers that didn't feature in my Mount Rushmore. So there you go. That's interesting, isn't it? There you go, folks. That's it. Another match reaction. Join us tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. Myself and Marky will be here as we always are. I'll drop a few shorts tomorrow at some stage. There's some good stuff coming out there, including, dare I say, Graham Potter could potentially be in line to replace Eric Ten Hag if Sir Jim takes over and decides that maybe a change is needed at the managerial level. Graham Potter to Man United. Just imagine that. I'll leave you with that thought. Until next time, folks, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. We'll be chatting to you, of course, all through the week, as we always do. Interesting. Look forward to the football. European football is back. International break is gone as we roll on towards the weekend as well. And that massive Manchester derby as well is going to be huge. We'll be entertaining Nottingham Forest. But until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, drop a like on the video, share the content, and stay safe.